Good afternoon and welcome to NYCryptoTalk. Today's ICO review is going to be on DAV, Decentralized Autonomous Vehicles. This is a project that is very interesting. I was reading up on it. It has a killer advisor team, a great project, proof of concept, some ongoing partnerships, and it is just very interesting. It is a very niche market, but very interesting nonetheless. Basically, what is DAV? DAV is a blockchain-based transportation platform. What they plan to do is integrate any autonomous vehicle, whether it be a car, a drone, a ship, and enabling those vehicles to discover, communicate, and transact with one another using a digital currency called the DAV token. DAV will be a protocol that connects the vehicles and users, which indeed enables a decentralized transportation market aimed both at people and vehicle companies. The team is already in advanced discussions with companies in the fields of drones, robotics, and automotive. I will be showing you some of their prototypes shortly, and it is really cool what they've currently got in the works. So why blockchain? DAV takes the P2P information transfer capabilities of the internet and the P2P value transfer mode possible on the blockchain and basically combines them, enabling a P2P transfer of physical goods. Consider the scenario that a package needs to be delivered using a drone. The parties involved include a sender, a recipient, a drone operator, the actual goods insurer, and an arbitrator. The blockchain, specifically utilizing smart contracts, enables us to conduct these kinds of transactions peer-to-peer directly between these parties without needing an intermediary, thus reducing the cost to all parties while providing them with the assurance that they need to conduct the business without necessarily trusting each other beforehand. Obviously, one of the key things about this project and where it is a niche market is autonomous vehicles in general. It is not a very prevalent project. It has not come to fruition yet. We haven't gotten to that age where everything is autonomous. It is still being prototyped and still being scoped out all around the world. How can this be applied now? While the cars and trucks might not have achieved mainstream adoption, right now we are starting the utilization of autonomous drones. So they're starting small. Companies large and small are popping up all around the world offering these drone services to the industry and to the public. If you actually looked at what Amazon introduced, I think early last year, 7-Eleven, Flytrex, and others, as I will show some examples in the white paper, there is a lot of utilization need for these autonomous cars and trucks as well as drones. So they're going to start with drones. They're going to be able to utilize this platform, and how will they do it? So right now what they plan on doing is starting a first level entry in the market, and this would be through utilization of APIs. So APIs will allow them to integrate with existing products or vehicles. Obviously, down the road, they plan to be able to build this directly into the operating systems or into the vehicles. The DAV token is a ERC20 token. It will be operating on the Ethereum network. Obviously, one of the things that most people have a issue with is the Ethereum blockchain and scaling. They did choose to utilize the Ethereum network. They can eventually go to another platform if they see the need, but they chose Ethereum due to the developer talent on Ethereum, as well as some of the major corporations such as Cisco, Deloitte, Intel, MasterCard, Pfizer, Credit Suisse, and others who have made interest or aligned themselves with the Ethereum blockchain. So they want to utilize the major players in the game basically right now for transactions and smart contracts. Obviously, once they get to a more of a model, they could migrate to another platform if needed. Without further ado, I am going to jump into the website and go through as much of the information as possible, go over some of the prototypes, the roadmap, the team, and then jump into the white paper. As you can see here, they talk about the project, a team built from the best brands, so that a lot of their team came from other major corporations, Fortune 500 companies, and the logistics division. So main contributors that might actually have a general idea of how this would work in the future with the decentralized infrastructure. If you want to check out their YouTube, I definitely recommend it. They actually have a lot of videos out. They do daily videos, couple of minute videos, short clips on updates of the project. They have multiple members giving updates, and they talk about the different contracts and agreements that they go through. So definitely check out their YouTube page. The main video here is What is DAV? It actually is really cool. It shows you the different drone information that they have, the different partnerships that they're working with, and it gives a great explainer of what it is. The future of transportation is a peer-to-peer network of people, vehicles, and services. They're asking, will you be in the future? So all parts of the network, all parts of the workflow in the DAV ecosystem basically will be allowing them to utilize this DAV token, either paying for services, earning tokens for sharing your drones, sharing your vehicle, and operating different functionalities within the system. DAV is a framework of open source software, open source hardware, and a free decentralized marketplace where anyone can buy and sell autonomous transportation services using the DAV token. Our technology consists of three major components: the discovery, the trustless cooperation tools, and a communication protocol. The decentralized discovery is allowing the autonomous vehicles to discover each other, as well as service providers and clients around them, and implements decentralized node discovery using a peer-to-peer protocol that does not rely on a central server. Instead, nodes are listed in a distributed hash table, which can be accessed in an extremely efficient way on the Ethereum blockchain. The communication protocol is on-blockchain communication done directly by calling smart contracts and through events emitted by those smart contracts, as well as off-blockchain communication done to peer-to-peer using DAV's protocols. And then there are trustless cooperation tools, which between the buyers and sellers of the transportation services achieves using a series of specialized smart contracts. And then it goes into how the blockchain enables them to be able to function, how they can actually operate their business model utilizing the blockchain. They talk about what they've built so far. I'll open up a prototype page and you can see the different things that they have done thus far. Looking at their roadmap, they do have quite a bit of information so far that they have accomplished within the project, and a lot to do so far. So right now we are in Q1 2018, where they have the first drone delivery negotiated and completed autonomously. They have the April 2018 is the network launch, drone flight planning service launch as well, the drone charging service launch, the token sale, which I will talk about this token sale information. Q2, they have the first vehicle charging negotiated and completed autonomously. Q3, first autonomous boat mission completed on the DAV network, so that's in their projects area. Q4, decentralized discovery, decentralized communication. Q4, decentralized non-autonomous ride-hailing network release. Then going into 2019, they have first vehicle to hire another vehicle for the last mile of delivery, decentralized non-autonomous delivery network release, and a long-range drone flight supported by network of charging stations. So they talk about their drones and their charging stations. One of their business partnerships so far is Copter Express, and they utilize a charging station, which is really interesting. So looking at the roadmap, they do have a lot of things going for them, but they do have a very long-term goal. That's both a good thing and a bad thing. One, because of the takeoff of the project. Not playing on any words, but it will take a little bit more to take off because they do have a lot. Having a long-term vision of the project is always good to have. You know, you got to reach for the stars. You can't just think that, you know, it's going to be a short-term project. Very cool nonetheless. I will go through the white paper, but going through the actual team, the advisor team, is the first thing that they mention. I'm not a big fan when they do advisors first, because they're trying to call out that their advisor team is 10 times better than their team, which is not the case, but they do have quite a bit of people on their team. They have the former CTO of GM, a former astronaut, and a NASA associate administrator, a serial entrepreneur from Equinix, Ethereum, lead Ethereum virtual machine developer, the head of emerging technologies for SAP, which I think is great, the director of autonomous systems at UPS, which is even better, and then we go into Vice President of Global Technology Services is IBM, the creator and chief developer of the Ethereum name service, and then former head of drone business at Cisco. So their advisor team is probably one of the best I've seen in a long time. They definitely have some very heavy hitters here, so it is very cool to see a lot of these people on the team. Moving to their core team, Noam Kopel, who is the CEO and founder, created the world's first smartphone encryption system distributed in over 50 countries. Noam is an aviation enthusiast and multi-engine rated pilot. So really cool that he obviously is in this industry and also has some experience in the technical aspects of things. The CTO and co-founder is a developer and entrepreneur for over 20 years, a published O'Reilly author, and an invited expert on the W3C Automotive Working Group, and a coder since the age of 8. John Fraser, CCO and co-founder, is the former external relations lead for the Ethereum Foundation. And Joe Lepardo is the CMO and co-founder, has worked previously with Google, Oracle, Salesforce, and SAP to develop their brand and implement marketing strategies. So very cool team. They do have a lot of people. They also have a lot of source contributors to their actual code. So it's really cool to see that they have this many people within the project. Looking at the token sale details on the main page, this is the high level information on the expected token distribution, which the hard cap is at 38 million, and the expected use of proceeds. I am a big fan of seeing the expected use of proceeds for the ICO. So I see 45% in research and development, general and administration 10%, legal and compliance 10%, expansion and operations 20%, 15% marketing and business development. I would have liked to seen a little bit more of a shift in the project, a little bit more in research and development or in the tech side of things. As far as the actual tokens itself, 40% of the tokens will be in the token sale. There's 25% bounties and partnerships, long-term budget 20%, and the vested team and advisors is 15%. To look at more token details here on the token sale page, they have more information on when the token sale starts on April 30th, and either it ends on when the hard cap is reached of 38 million or this amount of tokens, or May 13th of 2018. Moving back to the actual main page, there's more information here, an FAQ about the project. Looking at their prototypes page, they have quite a bit of partnerships going on and projects that are currently underway. The first one is their drone missions apps, which is really interesting. It is basically a autonomous drone service for delivery. And they have a page that allows you to see the smart contracts for these different autonomous vehicles where they're testing this out, and this is on the missions.io, and basically you can play with their actual system, which I think is kind of cool. But going back, this is through their Copter Express partnership, and there's more videos on this on their YouTube page. They also have a command line interface tool that was built for their development of applications and services. They have a developer portal so that they can work on API functionality for integration. Their block explorer they're currently working on, they haven't released it yet, but they are going to be able to have the information about their blockchain, and so users can actually utilize the functionality of the DAV network. Mission control, which is similar to the mission page that I showed before, but integrated with the CLI and other portions of the project. They also have a ongoing relationship with the California Maritime University on building a autonomous boat that will complete photography missions for students and be paid in DAV tokens. And this is going to be utilizing different functionality for oceanographic measurements for the university. A search and rescue robot, the partnership with Husarion, which is a robotics prototyping platform, are developing a proof of concept involving an autonomous robot that will be able to do a drone search and rescue mission. They'll basically bid for missions to locate drones and have lost contact with their owners, go to their last known location, and then using its onboard LiDAR and computer vision, find them and send back their exact coordinates. In the white paper, they talk about how the automotive and transportation industries are currently undergoing their biggest revolution since the invention of Henry Ford's assembly line in 1908. And one of these things is the autonomous functionality within the system. Google, Lyft, Uber are only a handful of the companies working on it right now, and they feel that this is the time to be in it with the current boom and the blockchain realm exploding as well. So examples of some of these services that are out there right now. Some examples of autonomous drones and services currently in use or being prototyped today. There are functionalities that are called the integrated last mile delivery. Basically what this is a van is able to park in a certain location and the last leg of the trip is done via drone. So this could happen when there is no road available or for whatever reason it is inaccessible, and that's where the drone service is used. They already see companies like Flytrex executing deliveries with autonomous drones in Iceland for an Icelandic online marketplace called AHA. Companies like eHang in China have already tested drones that carry people in the air through Dubai. That's interesting. These flying passenger drones are expected to be commercially deployed in the coming years. Other companies such as Airbus, Uber, and Kitty Hawk have proposed similar flying car drones. So this one was an interesting piece for me. The passenger drone prototype, that would scare the living daylights out of me, but cool nonetheless. Waymo has a self-driven taxi service basically and has driven over 3.5 million miles on the road across 20 US cities. In Phoenix or Arizona, they already are inviting people to take part in their early passenger program. If you're not in the US or not familiar, the FAA now has a blanket federal restriction on commercial drone operators. All commercial drone operators must apply for a 333 exemption from the FAA before doing business, register their aircraft online with the FAA for $5 and receive a certificate of authorization. The heat map here that they have on AirMap, and it's basically showing the 461,000 recreational drones and the 8,400 commercial use drones that have been registered by the FAA by the end of May 2017. This white paper was actually written last year around that time. So I'm sure that this is a lot more than what it is right now. But that's really cool to actually see where the drone is. And it seems to be my area is actually in the hot zone for drone activity. Not only is the FAA is regulating the use of drones, but there is legislation as well from a state level. So it shows you here the 33 states that have legislation for drone use in 2017 with only 20 in the previous year. Kind of interesting to see that information. Obviously this is only for the United States. It does not mean worldwide. So what is the problem today? So today large corporations have already begun experimenting with fleets of autonomous vehicles. Domino's Pizza, Amazon Prime's air drones, which I mentioned in the past, and Waymo's autonomous taxis. And there's also Baidu's open source self-driving cars that are leading the way towards fully autonomous transportation systems. So the main issue with the autonomous vehicles or drones is the centralizations and the narrow economic interests restrict the pace at which transformative technologies can be released and adopted by the market, as the key players are focused on dominating their own isolated networks and not on creating a collaborative infrastructure that is more efficient and has higher potential for more diverse use cases in the long run, as well as lack of incentives to collaborate across various value chains stifles the pace of progress in this sector. So having an open source decentralized project would obviously break the issues that are surrounding autonomous vehicles and drones. The token system. So the token system, it is a utility service. So all the people, whether it's the vehicle providers, infrastructure providers, service providers, manufacturers, insurance providers, arbitrators, the software and the hardware developers, all these people can be utilizing the DAV network and the DAV tokens, and they all are paid accordingly to how you would think any normal workflow would work for earning money or vice versa. The DAV network as a developer-centric platform creates SDKs for popular development platforms and APIs. It actively encourages developers to take part, making it easy for any developer to participate and contribute within their own domain of expertise. As I mentioned earlier, there's a first phase of being able to utilize the platform, and that is through APIs. Eventually down the road, they want to be able to integrate this directly into the system or into the operating network of the project that they're looking into. The DAV stack is composed of 5 main components, each of these providing one piece of the puzzle. So there is the identity, discovery, communication, mission flow, and payments. Looking at each one of them, each DAV entity has its own identity. These entities might be a person looking to purchase transportation service and so forth. The discovery is the decentralized discovery, provides the tools for different DAV identities to discover each other. So multiple devices in this scenario of a autonomous drone looking for an autonomous charging station. That's where the discovery comes in. The communication between those two. The mission flow, which is the actual workflow from the initial statement, from the bidding, the service fulfillment, and the payment. So the whole workflow of the project. And then the actual payment services provided from the DAV network. They also have MVPs, minimal viable products, that they want to be able to hit in their milestones. Some of these are very complex, and they can go from being able to have a vehicle to pay for its own battery replacement and utilizing the tokens, then being able to take off and complete its delivery. Going back to their actual web page and the core infrastructure about the project and where I think it's going in the future, I think it is a very, very niche market. It is very interesting nonetheless, where the autonomous vehicles and or drones would be utilized on the blockchain. I think it is definitely something that can be utilized on the blockchain, and it is something that they have a lot of use cases for. But right now, I don't think the use cases are in high enough demand for the project. It is definitely very, very cool. I think drones are interesting. Drones are all the new rage nowadays. And obviously, with the way the world is going with transportation and logistics, I think it definitely is something that might be needed. It just might not be having the volume that one would assume in other realms or different areas of the market in blockchain. So I definitely think it is interesting. Everyone, should be doing their own research. I think they have a super team. They have literally a collective group of people that have the knowledge and history to really make this happen. So if they can get contracts, then they will definitely be successful, because they have a great advisor team, a great core team, and a lot of developers. So, do your due diligence and let me know what you think. I hope you guys like this. Please like, subscribe, shoot me a comment. Love to hear from you. Have a fantastic day. Thanks again.